to get down to business? Join seasoned entrepreneur, community leader, and Army veteran Scott Shalom Klein, who will take you behind the scenes with those who work in America's small business scene and speak with leaders making an impact, creating jobs, and telling their story in entrepreneurship. So let's get down to business. On AM 560, The Answer, here's your host, Shalom Klein.
And indeed, we're all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship and business. We talk all about small business here. Super excited to kick off the conversation today with a man who transitioned from a directionless 25-year-old to a world-class elite competitor by fixing the software of his own mind. That's right, I'm joined by Kuusk, who is a 7-time world Pentamind champion, a game theory professor, and a C-suite executive. He's the author of Unlocking the Success Puzzle, where he explores how cognitive biases and evolutionary holdovers like the urge to avoid discomfort or the myth of innate talent act as invisible anchors on our achievement. Once again, I'm joined by Kuusk. Andres, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. At 25, you describe yourself as having no clear trajectory. What was the specific cognitive distortion you identified in yourself that allowed you to pivot towards becoming a 7-time world champion?
There were several ones. I think I was falling victim to many cognitive distortions, but if to name just a few, I can start with consistently overestimating my opponents. Very often when I was playing opponents who were significantly higher rated than me, then I assumed that they have better understanding about almost every aspect of the game. And so I believed that I cannot win anyways, and the best I can do is just to play for a draw. And that's why I often played overly cautiously, and I missed several opportunities. And so I played below my level. I underperformed, and this kind of confirmed my belief. I believed that I'm worse, and I ended up being worse. But what I didn't realize was that I created this disadvantage myself just by overestimating my opponents. Yes, sometimes they were stronger than me, but sometimes they weren't. And I lost because I just underperformed myself, not because the opponents were so significantly better than me. So this was one of the distortions that I quite often fell victim to, but there were others also.
Yeah, and you've made the bold claim that talent doesn't exist. That's a bold claim. How does the talent myth actually sabotage a high achiever's ability to build a long-term legacy?
If we believe that talent explains most outcomes, then early setbacks and failures can feel like we are simply not suited for something. And this interpretation makes us to invest less energy and often quit altogether before our true potential even becomes clear. So if we didn't have this belief, then we didn't also have the excuse of quitting, and we would continue putting in an effort and working towards our goals instead of quitting too soon. So this is a very clear reason how believing in talent or believing in lack of talent causes us to fail our goals, just because we quit even before our true potential becomes clear. And this is very clearly just a misinterpretation of early setbacks or failures, because early stages of learning are difficult for everyone. And the difference is not that some of us are talented and others are not. The difference is that some people don't interpret early difficulty as a signal to stop.
Mm-hmm. Once again, I'm chatting with Andres Kuusk, who is a 7-time world Pentamind champion, a game theory professor, and a C-suite executive. He is the author of Unlocking the Success Puzzle. And Andres, we often hear that growth happens outside your comfort zone, but you call that a myth. What is your alternative approach to navigating discomfort without triggering the brain's quit response?
Yeah, my problem with comfort zone slogans is that I believe they have been pushed too far. In the beginning, when the concept was first introduced, it meant that in order to start something new, you can't do it inside your comfort zone. You have to step outside because the new activity just is not in your comfort zone. But these days, everybody seems to think that that growth happens outside your comfort zone, and in my view, this is very misleading piece of advice. Because if that were true, then the best way to improve would be to stay in situations where you feel uncomfortable, inefficient, and out of control. But this is clearly not where high performance happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And something else that I've heard from you, which I think about a lot, is you talk about another cognitive trap where we assume that everyone else knows more than we do. My wife and I often call that my pet peeve, the they. Everybody, that there must be a plan. But how does correcting this specific distortion unlock the confident decision making that's needed in the age of AI?
If we believe that others have some sort of advantage that we don't, then we again become overly cautious. It is similar to the effect that I described in the beginning, the one that I was myself falling victim to. If you believe that there is something that others know and that you do not know, then you start doubting yourself, and instead of speaking up when needed, you hesitate and wait. Very typical example is something that we see very often in the meeting rooms all around the world when some topic is presented and you think that there is a clear flaw, but nobody has mentioned it yet. So you believe that everybody else knows something that you don't. Everybody else understand why it's actually not an issue, and you are the only one who doesn't yet understand. So you don't speak up because you think that by speaking up you just expose yourself. But the truth is that if you think that there is something that doesn't add up, then most likely most other people think the same. And by speaking up, you would make a favor to everybody else, and everybody would think of you as a sharp mind because you were the one who was finding out about the issue.
And lastly, in 30 seconds or less, if a listener feels that success is too far away to even start, what's the first game theory move that they should make to reset that belief and regain momentum today?
I think you can start just by asking honest questions from yourself. For example, after important setbacks or decisions, instead of asking how did it work, ask what might I have been misinterpreting, or what assumptions did I make. Once you ask these kinds of questions consistently, you start seeing some patterns. Maybe you overestimate difficulty, or maybe you take feedback too personally, or maybe you are biased when judging your own life.
Mhm.
So when those patterns become visible, then you can correct them.
Yeah.
So the first step is the ability to watch how you
Absolutely.
are yourself thinking.
Andres, we're going to have to leave it there. The book is Unlocking the Success Puzzle. Is there a website that people should go and check out?
Yes, there is. My website is andreskuusk.com, and there is a dedicated page for the book as well, easy to find.
Fantastic. We'll link in the show notes, make it real easy for people to, again, find the book, Unlocking the Success Puzzle. That's Andres Kuusk. Thank you so much for joining us, Andres. We're going to squeeze in a quick break here on Get Down to Business. Don't touch that dial.